Hey guys, Sandy here, and I am working with my Citrus Twist kit today. I got an email notification that they were shipping my next kit, so I thought, you know what, I really need to attack this and get it finished. However, I'm at the point with this kit where I'm not loving what's left. I've discovered through being part of kit clubs that I'm not a huge Maggie Holmes fan, and I know that is just killing some of you guys, and you think her stuff is beautiful, and it is. It's beautiful and it's gorgeous, but it's just not the way I scrapbook. And there's just too many things in here that I just don't like. Like, I don't like butterflies in my scrapbooking. I don't like random animals. The only random animal I like is this bird right here, and that's because my children name every animal they see still, even though they're almost full-grown adults, and one of these guys was at Disney and they named him. So I'm keeping this little guy, but the rest of the stuff I'm kind of like, eh. Like, it's not exciting me. It's just not, oh. Letter stickers, perfect. Label stickers, like, perfect. But it's just the rest of the stuff. This color by number paper, I was not a fan, and I wasn't a huge fan of what was on the other side. I love this ticket paper. I love this wood grain, and I still got a hunk of it. So what I'm going to do, let's get into it. I'm going to scrapbook this photo. It's a selfie of me and my two girls last year on Chloe's birthday. So I'm going to scrapbook this. I'm thinking something in the center with some mixed media. So let's see what I can do.
So the very first thing I did was grab my Tonic and Tim Holtz glass craft mat. Now, if you watched my Scrapbook Expo haul video, you'll see that I had gotten this there. Now, I gotta say, I love this sucker. Like, I love this guy. It's so easy to clean up, so much easier than my cutting mat underneath, which is getting kind of stained and yucky. So the first thing I did was watered down this basil marshmallow cardstock, and then I'm using the packaging technique to smush some color on it, and now I'm kind of spraying it. So I didn't have any real clue as to what I was going for or what I was doing, other than I wanted some of the colors to shine through from that piece of paper that you can see there on the edge of my screen. And I really didn't have, like I said, a plan other than that. And I think I was thinking I wanted to have my photo in the center, like I wanted that to happen. Now, I gotta tell you, I was really, really liking the color that was happening by mixing the pink and this, I believe this is Evergreen Bough. Like, I was really, really loving this color. And then, as you can see, I was like, oops, rolled my paper towel across it the wrong way. And then I'm just adding more and more color, and I'm just layering it up. And I'm thinking I wanted to do something fun with it. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what is the fun thing? So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll do some splatters. That's kind of fun. And while splatters are fun, see, and then I'm like, no, I'm rolling the stupid paper towel roll the incorrect way again. So I just decide to blot instead of roll. And I'm really just having fun with this. So I'm discovering that when I play with these kind of backgrounds, when I'm smushing around ink or when I'm placing it around, it's really, there's no rhyme or reason other than I like where it's going and I like what's happening. So I'm not exactly sure like what my reasoning is for things while I'm doing it. There isn't a specific design process that's running through my mind. Mostly it's subconscious and just, hey, I'm having a fun time with this and I like the way this is looking. Now, there was some yellow in that paper, so I wanted to bring in a little bit of that yellow into my background. And not a whole lot, but just enough to give it a little punch of something. Just that little, that extra pizzazz. Now, this is a watercolor, and it's a Shimmer's watercolor. And honestly, I have no idea how I'm supposed to be using this. It's just kind of a wreck right now. what I was originally thinking was I was going to kind of like tap some watercolor in just to add that little bit of gold. And what I end up doing is really watering it down and brushing it all over the page because I like that little extra bit of shimmer that happens with this. And that white was looking pretty stark for me right now. So this is where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to put this all over the page. It's going to tinge the white ever so slightly. And then I don't even have to really worry about that bam pop of white anymore. Which kind of defeats the purpose because in the back of my mind, I was like, I have this white border around this photo, so I should leave some of the white background, but that right out of my mind, and now I'm deciding that I need to paint this gold watercolor all over the layout. Now, here I'm really liking this. Like, I'm liking the way it looks. I'm excited to build up some layers on it, and I'm just trying to figure out something a little bit extra that I can add to it to give it a little bit more texture, to give it a little bit more of a fun feeling. And I'm going through my stencils right now, and I do find one. However, it doesn't work. It does not, the vision that I have in my head of happening does not happen. Like it doesn't make it from my head to the page. So I'm thinking, oh, I'll just spray some of this over it. And then I'm like, well, I got to blot it because, you know, that's a lot of spray I just did. And then when I pull it up, yeah, I'm like, no, that really didn't do anything that I want it to do, did it? No, it really didn't. It just kind of looks like a mess. But you know what? I'm going with it because it's a background and you can always build on top of it, right? Right. Okay. So here I'm just kind of like, oh, I can't believe this happened this way. I'm thinking, well, do I put it back down and maybe try some ink over it? And at this point I was just like, no, I'm not even going to go with it. So boom, I decided to stop there and I let it dry for a while. I actually believe it was overnight that it dried. And then I'm going to center that photo with a huge photo mat with the colors, just because I want to make sure I'm getting in as much of the colors from that background paper on my pattern paper. Like I want you to be able to tell, yes, there are colors in the background and there are colors on this paper and they definitely go together. I want you to be able to see that. So now the only thing I'm doing is trying to bridge a gap between the background paper and my photo. So I'm trying to do a little bit of layers and make some fun things happening. Now I decided I would just use a doily to cover up that bit because that bit just really wasn't working for me. And I didn't want to do a new layer and I didn't want to start over and I just decided to go with it. So that's what I did. I went with it. Now my photo is ever so slightly off center now. I remember the whole time I'm thinking I want the photo in the center of the page, but because I did that screw up, I had to change my plan just a little bit. And then I decided, well, just a tiny bit scooched over is not going to be a big deal. I'm still getting that feeling. I'm still getting my photo in the center-ish part of the page, but you know. So now I'm thinking, okay, I've got this soft pink that I have up here and I've put it up here next to the photo mat and I really need to bring that soft pink down a little bit. So I go ahead and plop it down here on the bottom corner, which this is totally not what I am thinking in my head when I started this layout. And go me, I used a clip on that page. Can you believe that? So if you've watched me for any length of time, you know I'm not a fan of butterflies on my layout. Butterflies in real life, freaking awesome. And I'm not a fan of paper clips or clothespins or any kind of clippy thing. They just don't, for some reason, I just don't like what they look like on my pages. Now, other people, I think they can do amazing things with clips, and I'm like, oh, that looks great, but me, just doesn't work. So anyway, I wanted to be like, yeah, used a clip on that page. I mean, it's a simple little heart, but hey, people, I actually used a clip on the page. So here I am. I just used one of the charms that came in my Citrus Twist kit, and I just tied a little teeny bow on the top of it, and that also came in the kit, the embroidery floss. Now here I am using one of the exclusive cut apart sheets, and I'm just trimming it down so that I can fit it right here, because I decide that I'm going to build a little area right here of embellishment as well, because I'm going back. I'm like reverting. I'm doing a triangle, a cluster. I'm not going vertical at all. I'm kind of just going back to what I do now, and that's okay. Like, I'm okay with going back to what I do because I like the way I scrapbook. I mean, that's why I do it. I enjoy it. I like it. I like the finished product. So I'm okay with it. It's another page done in my album, but I really want to do a vertical layout. So I need to figure that out here shortly, don't I? Now I'm just messing around and trying to figure out where this little yellow bit should go. And that did come off of the cut apart sheet just because there is yellow in the background, and honestly, I covered up most of it. Oops. But it's okay. Totally okay. So I'm just using these word phrases that came in the kit, and I think just about everything on this layout came in the kit except for that doily. I'm pretty sure. It's been a little bit since I've scrapbooked this layout. Usually, okay, here's how it usually works. I usually scrapbook the layout, do the voiceover, and upload it to YouTube. It's like pretty much in the same day. Sometimes I might scrapbook a couple layouts and do them all. Like, I might batch it a little bit. Like, I'll do a couple of them and then upload it to YouTube and schedule them. But the past probably 2 weeks have been crazy for me. I've been training for a new position. I got a promotion that went into effect yesterday, and now I have more training to do. So, and my schedule's been kind of all over the place. And honestly, I'm exhausted. Like, I'm tired. Because I just am. Like, a lot of stuff's going on and I'm just tired. So I kind of put it off to the side, and instead of coming home and scrapbooking after work like I usually do, I took a nap or kicked my feet up and played games. Like, I just needed a little bit of de-stress time. So, oh, I lied. Those teal glitter thickers are from the Glitter Girl collection, I believe. They did not come in the kit. So, yeah, so it's been a minute. So this layout has been finished probably for over a week, and I'm just now getting to the moment to actually talk about it. So that's the way it is sometimes. There are times where I can scrapbook a gazillion pages. Like, I am just pumping them out, and I'm super in the zone, and I'm in the mood, and I'm like, yes, paper, I love glue, I love pretty things, I love sparkly things. I'm like, yeah. And then there are some times where I'm like, I want to scrapbook so bad, but really, I just need to sit down and put my feet up and relax for a little bit and just de-stress. Not that, scrapbooking is a de-stressor for me. Like, I can definitely go in and play with paper, and it clears my mind and everything. But sometimes when you're just tired, you just don't even want to play with paper. You just want to kick your feet up and relax. And that's what I did. So, building up a little bit more on this cluster up here. And I'm using these little gold hearts. And I just decide to use the rest of them up because, they're gold hearts. Why? I don't need to save them. Get them on a page. Get them in an album. Have them decorative, like, make it happen. So now I'm just trying to adjust and figure out the little bits where, you know, it's going to end. And I thought I needed a little bit of something here under this bit of photo mat. I was like, I've got all this going on, and it just needed a little something right there. So I decided to go with basically this craft colored paper with the white dot on it. And I decided that that gap there was just too big. Even though that's the reason why I cut that particular side of the paper, was because it did have that gap. So I just realized it was too big, and then I placed it down there, and now I have the little white dots poking out. And that's perfect, because even though I've covered up all of the stark white from my background paper, I still have that doily. I have these white dots. There's some white down at the bottom. Like there's the leatherette stickers from Pink Fresh have the white around them. Like there's still pops of white throughout the page, which is good because this photo did get printed with a white border, which is not something I really do a lot with, you know, print photos with a white border. But I was struggling with getting this selfie of us printed correctly. So now I'm just adding a little bits here and there, and I'm thinking this is pretty. So do I layer that here? Do I layer that where is this little sucker gonna go? So as you can see, I put some adhesive on him and then put him down because I'm like, no, he's not gonna go there, but I do need something. So I pull out the die cuts, and sure enough, there is some more yellow bits, and it's kind of a golden yellow. And I'm just like, yeah, this is gonna be perfect. All right, now I'm finally gonna get that little guy shoved up in there, and that works. Now I do have this gap from that yellow paper down to where that dot paper is, and I'm going to cover that up, and so you don't see it with that little bit of the die cut, because honestly, I'm not going to use a swan die cut. I'm just not. I mean, who knows? Maybe one day in the future I'll go see Swan Lake or something, but really, I'm not going to hold on to it on the off chance that I'm going to go see a ballet. So, you know. And now I'm just layering even more right there because, you know, more is more. And in this case, sometimes less is more, but in this case, I think more is more. I just feel like this background is a pretty bold background, even though there's not anything graphic about it, but it is bold in color. So I'm just like, yeah, we're gonna do this. And now I'm flipping through my enamel dots, and I'm just trying to find a good color. And I'm not exactly sure why in the world that's how we choose enamel dots, is by holding them and slapping them around on the page, but that's what I did. Now I am using 3 different colors, and I am clustering them together. So I'm using the pink, the green, and the white. I'm using all 3 sizes and just placing them around the page. And I end up placing them in 4 or 5 areas, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe that's 5 areas I'm going to end up with them around the page just to finish it off. And here, I'm like, yep, it needs a little bit more there. Just a little bit more. Now I flip over the paper because I want to do a line of journaling, and I'm trying out some very, very old Creative Memories pens, and they have been on their last legs for a while, and now they're definitely dead. So I chucked those bad boys and then just went with the standby black pen. And not any like special or amazing journaling, just saying what it was and when it was. And then that is going to do it for this layout. It is finished. It is in the album, and I couldn't be happier that it's finished. Here's some stills, and go ahead, leave me a comment if you want to talk about anything, and I will catch you guys later.